Yeah,
that was crazy,
Not
man.
a well-travelled guy.
No, you are though. Well, you are now. You will be later down the line, I'm sure. We can take our travels together, Harry. We can get a little scrapbook. Pin little photos of it.
That'll be cute. Have an Instagram story or something.
It would be adorable.
She's
Or its own Instagram. I'm not going to relegate you to my Instagram story, Harry. We're going to make our own one.
Physical story.
Exactly. 9 seconds till the gates unlock. She's Money Crew running something a little bit different on the defense. I say different. That's what Paris Eternal ran the other day.
And at the end of our first half, I talked about how Emil on Vivi's Adventure had actually been a hit scan talent. And now he's picking up for somewhere. So evidently, Emil is looking back and being like, okay, so like Day says, I'm a good hit scan talent.
Hold your breath. It's going to change. Or maybe, I'm not entirely sure.
Onto Widow? Okay.
Fat Widow.
Single support with a Fox on the Zenyatta, so I guess this is all about just discording one target and messing them up.
They're still in spawn, in fact. I think they're still deciding what they actually want to play. It looks like it's going to be 3-3 with Moira.
Symmetra.
Sim teleport into point, potentially.
Okay, so they want to all get on point and then make sure they can all get behind Lawless's shield and use that bell for cover. But Urki's going to be under a huge amount of pressure here already from Oberlin. It's going to be very hard to pressure him out. They're going to have to use the Biotic Grasp for Moira to do so and potentially a damage orb as well. But can they afford to not use the healing orb when you've got this much of it is required?
Mao's on the high ground, just crouching down with a damage boost. Able to click his head. Here's a 5v6, of course. He might be able to teleport himself back to the point in that boop, almost killing Spectral instantly.
You got to break those railings or they're going to get in your way. They're still there as well, George. Just rocket after rocket, though. 85% already. That barrage is almost ready to go.
They've actually forgotten the point here also, because JK Lowell just set up his shield. They don't really have much shield pressure, so they're able to just sit back. Urki comes back on the Widowmaker, just takes away Mouse and Opening. That's 2. Can he find the 3rd? He's out, exerting enough pressure for everybody to back off, and now look, Slow was caught out. Gustav forced into a corner. It's exactly what AT wanted.
Yeah, it's just the chaos and the miscoordination that happens. We're like, oh, I guess Widow's just killed both of our DPS. What do we do? Okay, let's regroup. Regroup where? Regroup where? Not regrouping in the right position. Apparently, Barbecue's actually swapping over now to the Symmetra. Mal's onto the Bastion. I'm excited, George. We're going to be seeing some aerial Omnic play right now. Put him up onto that very hard-to-reach area. But Urki, he's on his main. For those of you who don't know, Urki's Twitter bio says Roadhog one trick, and he's a very good Roadhog. He can play a lot more than that, but he's a very good Roadhog. Yeah, but Mouse is
a very, very good Bastion. We saw a little bit of it last week as well. Oh, he gets hurt!
All through the bottom!
Instantly! Okay, Urki may be the better Roadhog in that situation. Barrage is going to come through, mostly blocked off, and Fat secures the kill. And now Urki hunting for the supports. Only just was Slayer able to get that Transcendence off.
Forcing out that Transcendence. Gustav will manage to get the res. JKL on this shield's going to be back in the action, but he's already used both of his cooldowns, Jaws.
Oh, they're going to use that beat as well to push forward past that shield. The Superchargers coming out from JKL, so everybody just receiving a massive damage boost. But through all the damage, Barbecue jumping onto Sim is going to go down as well. Mao's also falling. Who says EU is all about 3-3 and quad tank, Harry? We got Sim, we got Bastion, we got Torb, we got it all.
Tell you what EU is all about, Jaws. Ingenuity. It's about pioneering a new meta and trying to figure out what works. Unfortunately, the only thing that works right here is Roadhog, because Urki is a beast. And it's just like, okay, you think that your shield placement is good, do you? No.
How about if it's dead?
I'm just going to get the cheekiest of hooks through the smallest of gaps, and he's going to yank down that Bastion and absolutely destroy him. And unfortunately, we didn't see much Mao's with the Supercharger, because when you are a Bastion and you have the Supercharger, it's effectively a nano boost. It's 50% extra damage. Bastion in Sentry mode deals 450 damage per second. That's 225 extra added for 675 damage per second, which is more health than a Roadhog, a Hammond, a Diva, or a Reinhardt has.
That's a lot of damage.
That is a lot of damage, Jaws. Unfortunately, Shoes Money Free weren't able to deploy it in the right way. Some great target prioritization from Angry Titans managed to make sure that was not available.
Okay, AT rolling out on the defense. They got Urki on the Mei. This is what I wanted to see. A little bit of Mei action coming from AT. However, you've got to think. And AT have got to think to themselves. Hang on a second. Of course, Shoes Money Crew on the defense ran something rather funky. Maybe they'll do the same again. It might be very easy for Shoes Money Crew to dip back and change over to Afara.
Potentially so, of course. This is a risky run on the defense, Jaws, because the offense are so close to their spawn. And like we saw, Angry Titans just stayed in their spawn for like 30 seconds. Have to see. Spectral, though. moving in on the Ana. He can try and deal with any incoming throw. Not only that, Urki will not suffer from damage drop-off on his right-click icicles, so he can also fill that anti-air need, as well as Fat, who will have the hit scan option with his aim-down sights Ana. And of course, Urki can try and lock up any attempts to move in onto this point by putting a wall into a primary choke. It's going to be down to Barbecue to try and go for a distraction here, or potentially Overling with a knockoff using that whip shot.
Yeah, do not test Urki on the Mei, please.
It's reaction time games
please,
right
please,
here.
Please. Okay, he's hitting people in spawn now, which is quite frustrating. All right, they're changing up completely here. Well, not completely. They are changing to Moira from Zen, and they're switching over to the Winston, so they're going a bit of floats.
Additional healing. Of course, that Dynamite can be cleansed using the Fade, so Moira will not be a victim of that if she has that available. Of course, after she uses that Fade, incredibly vulnerable. Spectral now is actually playing down on the low ground. A wall there from Urki. They thought they could distract him. They can't.
Fat's just shooting me as well. JK Low didn't stand a chance. Discord Orb instantly frozen. You see on turn away, it's like, you can't headshot me, but he's frozen, so he's going to die super quick regardless. And now, just like Mouse is going to have to just reset himself.
Yeah, and he will have to give up all of his energy to do so. Will respawn with Zero. This could be a nasty stagger. He can potentially get a freeze here. He can get a boot. You can wall him in. This could be absolutely brutal. Already a minute and 10 seconds of Shoes Money crew. And their time bank have been used. Oh, there's a sleep through the shield somehow. That was a beautiful place down of the shield from JK Law, but not quite in time. And Mouse is now caught out on his own. This could be a very late pick. There's an anti-grenade.
No, not where you want to be, son, unfortunately.
Brutality.
And now he has Blizzard as well, Harry. They've almost got a combo. Emil has 88% of the RF.
Barbecue, he's okay at eating things. We'll have to see if he can get a fix on a Blizzard as well. But usually what you'll see from Maze when they're trying to make sure that their Blizzard lands, or go for the freeze onto the D.Va first. So that lasts about a second, maybe half a second, and that means that they cannot use, during that time, the defense matrix. JK Law's going to fall low, and that's going to give Spectral all the ultimate charge he needs to have Bob ready to do something.
You just planted him straight in the middle of the point as well. Oh, JK Law, he didn't really stand a chance. That Dynamite doing so much damage as well.
That's a Disco Inferno right there.
Oh boy. Uh-oh. So that's like, I use Coalescence.
Guess I help.
Yeah, oh, perfect use of the coach gun shot to get an extra bit of damage down.
I'm not sure.
I've still got Bob available too.
I'm not sure if Urki actually managed to block with Coalescence beam using the wall. If so, that was a lot of presence of mind. And of course, Angry Titans only had to expend one ultimate to make that work. So now they have 5 ready to go. And Shoes Money Crew, they're low on ultimates. And not only that, they're low on time jaws. A minute and 30 remaining for this attack. And that's only to get first. They need to get second after that as well. And now, there's no way they can get a lot easier time back.
There's Bob. There's the Dynamite. He's going to be straight on that rock as well. Mouse didn't stand a chance against Bob. No one does, really. Fat ends up going down, though, so that's kind of a nice pick for Shoes Money Crew. If they race it fast, they might be able to catch Fat on the regroup on their first point, but a team kill wiping out Shoes Money Crew, and they still have only used 2 ults.
And some people might think, isn't it weird to have God in your name, as he used to be called Only God? But Spectral really showing off why he could be called that beforehand. That's a lot of people caught out, though.
He's being so aggro, he's going to chuck the Blizzard in as well as soon as he heard that mech go off. But Spectral's actually caught out, and Urki's going to go down as well. This is Shoes Money Crew's time to strike.
Great use of projector barriers there from Miles, but that's a big shadow onto Barbecue. Could get the charge through here. He will actually catch it, but another great barrier.
Fairly mediocre shadow. I'm going to take that back from you, Harry. Unfortunately, only hit 1. JK Low's going to find another kill as well with that Primal Rage. Now, Shoes Money Crew have cracked the defense of Angry Titans. They managed to claim the point, but look at this time bank that AT managed to acquire last time. 5 and 27 seconds. Shoes Money Crew are going to be under them now. They're going to get 4 minutes extra, netting 4 minutes and 20 to attack second point.
You know me, Jules. As a Ryan May, I'm happy whenever I hit you
there's
to
a
the
big
ground
shadow.
with a shadow. I'm just like, yeah, there's a shadow that hits someone. That's successful. That's better than my shadows. Mal's going to be looking to put out a good Graviton search, however. Himself and Emil will be competing here. It's worth noting as well that Emil is now playing on the Xayah instead of the D.Va, which we praised him for previously. Bob's going to be there to contest a point, and Spectral's going to put himself up on the high ground.
Oh, wow. Look at that Dynamite and the Graviton surge going off as well. JK Low is a sitting duck for the headshots.
A sitting monkey, even.
Oh, my goodness.
Or ape.
Spectral and Bob doing all the work. Lolsish, get your name off the kill feed, son. You know it was all Spectral.
Just, they're held in place. So just shot after shot from Spectral, dealing huge amounts of DPS. And guess what? He's almost got another Bob. Yes. 86%. Bob is doing something. He's doing plenty, actually. Shoes Money Crew, back to a drawing board for them. They're not going to change up their composition. They are, however, going to be going in with 1 less ultimate. Mouse doesn't have that Graviton Surge ready to go anymore, but Slur does have the Coalescence. Maybe to try and pressure someone out from high ground.
Now he's got Bob again. Someone has to challenge him on this high ground, but it's so difficult. You have to invest a movement cooldown in order to do so.
Urki's ready to wall him off as well.
Taking extreme low. There's the movement cooldown we're talking about. Bob gets sent, okay, to the high ground. Not too bad of a placement. It's still going to be able to punish people on the points. Spectral does fall to Mouse, as he did land a nice right click, and a good sleep onto JKLO as he was in the Primal Rage.
Sniper Bob up on the high ground will actually leave after the time has elapsed. Spectral's going to move over now onto the Widowmaker, trying to get those clutch plays. Mouse,
oh, he got good boom! Nice, okay, so he can't get the instant headshot, but the Blizzard gets laid down regardless. Still manages to kill JKLO off, and that massive area, that zone denial now caused by the Mayout, forces Shoes Money Crew back.
Spectral moving on so many different heroes, but he's not going to be there this time. 2 minutes and 30 remain as the second tick comes through.
Not too bad whatsoever. They're going to be able to re-engage onto the point with the Transcendence. However, JKLO onto his soldier now. Wants to get the high ground and cause some extra additional pain to the back line. A Fox gets jumped on by the supports and opening, who's just running a rampage in the back line. 9% towards a bomb and 9% towards a victory as well. Pulse bomb goes down, doesn't quite connect with a meal, but they are finding the kills, pushing people off the point, and they managed to complete.
In the words of the immortal Apex Atlas, beautiful tracking there from Obling. Good job on the tracer, being able to stalk up a lot of people around the back, as well as getting a pick onto the Zenyatta. Zenyatta picks are so important, of course, because you don't want to lose one person. It's so easy to lose one person when they are afflicted with that Discord Orb, because they take so much more damage from all sources. Numerically, 30% more damage adds up to quite a bit. That means if you have 3 people attacking you, you basically have 4 people attacking you in terms of numerical damage you're receiving. Shoes Money Crew, though, don't have quite as impressive a time bank, but they are not out of this yet. They will have 2 minutes and 14 to be the pace car to which Angry Titans must play.
They gotta know, though. They gotta know AT is going to run a similar sort of comp on defense, so they're not going to waste as much time as they did before, changing out comps in the very first and start of their attack. Of course, they have got only 2 minutes to play with as well. That's potentially 3 to 4 attacks, depending on how many picks they get initially, as their spawn is fairly close to an effective range that you want to be attacking this first point.
I would like to see Obling stick on this Sombra, because what I imagine would happen, translocate, using stealth over the top of the gate, get into the enemy range, where it's a little bit harder to spot you out, because they do not have an effective spammer like D.Va to try and decloak a Sombra. Then you can get the hack in onto Urki, means that no walls are available, or ice block. Then you have Barbecue, go through this window, knock Urki down, and then just rush onto him potentially. That could be the play here for Shoes Money Crew. They're going to have to get inventive if they want to beat this more effectively than they did last time, which effectively was beaten because Urki kind of inted.
Slur's doing a little bit of that now as well. Did get headshot by Spectre. I wouldn't call it inting, to be fair, if you get headshot by Spectre, I'm going to be honest with you.
That's just life.
Yeah.
And death.
Uh-oh. That's happened to me multiple times, by the way. Just throw it in the bubble. It'll go through, maybe? No, it doesn't. It bounces straight back and actually does damage to you, which is unfortunate.
Impermeable shields, trying to hunt down Mouse here, who is low on health. He's going to have to try and find himself a health back, which he will do. Barbecue having to swap away onto the Arrester and back to the D.Va to regain that mech. Will give away any ult charge he has versus Crude. And Obling has not had many chances to spam thus far. Not too many spam targets, only 18% of the way towards his EMP. So it's not looking great for Shoes Money Crew right here.
Instantly targeting Spectral out. You can see Obling and Mouse doing a whole bunch of damage, forcing a bio grenade, in fact. Got to be careful, though, because the Ashe, she can one-shot you when you're scoped down sights. So Mouse is going to have to play a little bit more cautiously. Urki forced to use the Ice Block, but he's only a couple of percent of points away now from actually using that Blizzard.
Slur trying to pressure out Spectral right here, and Barbecue's going to try and join him. 37 health, and that's going to be 0.
Someone please heal me. Spectral ends up going down. Urki's going to fall as well. Not after he didn't use that Blizzard, which again creates a massive area and zone of denial, but there was no one ready to follow up on that. People just dying on the point now. AT are going to go first, but Shoes Money Crew have already only got 1 attack to work with now. Look at that. 1 minute and 10 seconds now remains.
Great communication there to inform Barbecue's dives as well. Slur using that Coalescence quite aggressively. Will not be available for the second point, at least right at the beginning of the fight, but we do know how quickly that ultimate can be gained with a huge amount of healing available. It's going to be a full usage of the Bob onto a point, but he's booped off, so he cannot contest.
Graviton Surge onto JKLO as well, just sitting done for Bob to just pile his head full of shrapnel. Mouse is going to fall as well, but now Shoes Money Crew, as soon as they instantly all die, obviously you're going to have to go back, but they didn't use any ultimates, which was most important. They have the EMP, they're going to have Coalescence, and they've got the beat to work with too. Angry Titans invested a whole bunch into that last defense.
Well, they don't want the Bob anymore. Spectral's going to be over onto that McCree instead, trying to shut down the potential for Obling with this EMP. I'm surprised that A-Fox is on for Zenyatta. Of course, he will have his shield stripped away by the EMP if he cannot preemptively use this, but that's a big shatter.
Oh my goodness.
I'm not lying this
Before
time.
Opening could actually get into position, Angry Titans already pressed go, and they ran straight forward. Oh no, Spectre with the emote as well. 8 seconds now remain for them to touch point. Opening still has the EMP, he has to use it, but I'm not sure he's going to be able to do it.
Opening may be forced to de-stealth on point. He has actually been caught out here by Fat, but he can't get on. Must have been boot back.
It was 1v6 regardless. You could see Spectral just plinking around trying to find him, but didn't end up getting so, and unfortunately couldn't touch either to cause OT. 3 points now to 2 for Shoes Money Crew, but look, 5 minutes and 27 seconds, Harry, and if they cap first, of course, they get an additional 30, and we know how the first point went last time for AT.
Right, let's draw back and think about the series as a whole, Jaws. If Angry Titans can cap first, there is no way they can lose this series. They will at least secure a draw because Shoes Money Crew have not got any percentage on this second point, which means that the best they can do if Angry Titans cap first is to go for that draw, and then they'll at best have a 2-1 scoreline if they can win out on Junkertown. So Angry Titans here, to win the series, just cap first. To win with style, first and second, with 5 minutes and 27 seconds, which means it took 2 minutes and 33 seconds the first time around. Well, I'd say that's a little bit longer than 2 minutes and 33 seconds.
It's pretty nice, Phantom.
33 is really difficult for me to say.
33.
How are THs, how do they work?
I don't know. You're the English major. I am not. I'm programming major. Although we don't really have majors in the UK.
Yeah.
Degrees.
That said, I do actually have a minor in psychology.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know that.
Today we learned.
Today we learned. I don't have a minor in art, I can tell you that for sure. Even though they forced her to do it in first year, I'll never forget. Art is terrible.
Angry Titans coming out with Lolsish on the wrecking ball for now. May actually be scouting out. We do remember that Angry Titans actually used up about 30 seconds of their time bank just swapping around in spawn beforehand. Emil is going to be back onto that Sombra, potentially trying to shut down JK Lol's shield, make him incredibly vulnerable to the attentions of Spectral. Right now, though, he's focused squarely upon the barbecue, trying to cook him, get things moving incredibly spicily.
Uh-oh, Gustav a little bit caught out as well. Almost got directed there by Erky. And now Erky can just take the high ground. Who's actually going to stop me? Nah, I got nobody. Plus Fats on my back as well. The fadeaway rocket onto Slur. Opening is even going to go down. Booped off the edge by Lolsish. And look at JK Lol. He's in the corner wondering where his team have actually gone. He's still contesting, but he's going to get rounded upon rather quickly. And the rest of Shoes Money Crew are going to fall with him. This first point cap for the series win. Looking also easy for Angry Titans. Mao's also going to fall. They're going to be able to cap and secure on the series. AT still need to cap the second point if they want to win it in style.
Gustav there was dispatched in filthy fashion, but Angry Titans are looking pretty in terms of where their ultimate bank is at as well. Erky almost has that barrage ready to go, but it doesn't look like they're actually going to be swapping up here. May give up a couple of ultimates and go over to the 3-3. They've seen that Shoes Money Crew have actually swapped over now to use Slur on the Moira instead. So if Slur decides to go back and swap now, he will give up any ultimate charge he has. If not, it's going to be very hard now for Slur to win out this tank duel because so much damage is going to be coming through onto JK Lol once that Discord Orb is applied. And they are actually going to have to force the positioning as well.
Just trying to look for a hat, gets booped away. Doesn't want to stay for much longer. But with JK Lol going down, this is pretty bad, Harry. That's one way to put it. And Emil is near that EMP as well. 7% away for the Sombra. A-Fox gets jumped on, instantly helped out by both his supports, though.
That is going to be Spectral falling down, though. That's a lot of damage that's not going to be available. Potentially here, Angry Titans could just say sayonara, come back another day. It's King's Row all over again, Jaws. They have 4 minutes, and they have now won the series, of course, as we noted before. Lolsish going to go on in, have a bit of a turbo feed. Go on, you deserve it.
There we go. Donated his body to the ult charge of Shoes Money Crew. Like you said, they have won the series already, of course. However, Angry Titans still want to be able to finish this map. And going into later weeks, we're almost halfway through, Harry. Does mean these map differentials will start meaning a whole bunch in terms of playoff contentions and where you will sit later down the line.
And they do have to make up for lost maps as well, because they lost a lot more than they were comfortable with against 1 point, going 3-2 eventually. They did manage to win out that series, but it should have been far more clean from that as far as like as favors and favorites would have been concerned. Emil now going to pressure onto the point. May force Shoes Money Crew to have a disengagement.
He's going to translocate, he's going to EMP, mate, straight on 3 members of Shoes Money Crew. Slur is going to answer with a coalescence to sustain them through the EMP and the loss of the abilities. JK Lol was not quite lucky though. The Earth Shatter hits Mouse, but Opening manages to counter-charge Lolsish, but it doesn't stop the wave of damage that is coming through from AT. A beat is been set out by Shoes Money Crew to hopefully survive them and the initial engagement engagement and wait for JK Lowell to get back. He's, of course, near a shatter of his own. He manages to find one, but Emil was behind him already. He was ready and raring to go. AT managed to find the team wipe on Shoes Money Crew. Opening gets back onto the point for one split second, but AT managed to complete and find the series 3-0.
Yeah, the second JK Lowell went down, that was pretty much lost there for Shoes Money Crew. Also, she had a shatter ready to go. It's like, but who do I pick? Thankfully, Mouse did actually get an armor pack before he was shattered, so he managed to survive just a little bit longer thanks to the attentions. There was actually some really good peel going on there. Like you said, Oberlin got the counter charge onto Lolster, so the burst damage couldn't be delivered, and we saw the armor pack come out as well. Oberlin was doing a great job of trying to keep Mouse safe, but when the other 5 members of Angry Titans are like, you die. Turns out you die.
You're gonna die. 5 people jumping onto 1 person. You're going to die pretty quickly, especially when we have a Discord op on you as well.
And they're stunned.
Exactly. We're going to jump to a quick break now. Guys, do not go anywhere. Map number 4 coming up very soon. Hey guys, welcome back. We've of course got Junktown to round out the series. AT versus Shoes Money Crew. If you've only just joined us, with that Hanamura defeat, that did mean AT won the series 3-0.
Technical victory for Angry Titans, of course, but there's still all the map score to be played for, which will come in handy towards the end of the season when you're trying to get yourself not only qualified for trials, but avoid qualified for playoffs, but avoid relegation into Contenders trials. And you know that Shoes Money Crew are going to be hungry for that right now. Angry Titans look to be in a good place, trying to secure themselves that playoff spot with 3 series wins already under their belt and maybe a couple of map wins as well as we move into Junkertown.
Yeah, Shoes Money Crew, however, on the other hand, have been showing a lot of signs of life. Last week, they looked a little bit lost. It felt like after the first couple of maps, they weren't all there. They weren't being able to just follow up on calls, and it really did feel like a different team. And now, stepping into this week, it seems like they've patched all those things up. They are, of course, 0-3 down in the series, but they are against AT, the finalists from year number from season 3, sorry, of 2018. And season 2, yes. AT, how could I forget? The second place only team.
They went semi-finals season 1, finals season 2, finals season 3, but yet secure the biggest W.
Shoes Money Crew, maybe they take an additional map here, make sure they stay out of those relegation spots like you just mentioned. Shoes Money Crew have come out of the gate with a couple of interesting things as well. JK Lol, we mentioned at the start of the series, it was a very much David versus Goliath match against Lolsish, who has been around the scene for such a long time. JK Lol really stepping up his game this week around.
Our observer slightly addicted to health packs. We're going to have a little bit of a talk about that. Ooh,
it's good, it's nice motion.
Angry Titans going to be starting off on the offense here. We currently see Spectral hovering over on that Bastion. Bastion is like a pretty common pick for Angry Titans, actually. We've seen it across multiple seasons, but we will see Only God or Urki bring out that hero, but I doubt it's going to be the case here. Could actually be. I see A-Fox moving over onto a Mercy, or Fat in this case, but look, on the defense, Mouse picking up the Widowmaker. Not a hero he's incredibly known for, but if he's going up against Spectral, he's going to need to watch out. George's got big shoes to fill, or big high heels in the case of Widowmaker.
Yeah. Triple DPS, by the way, for AT. They're going to run the solo heal Mercy with A-Fox on the play. Oh, Spectral, no! Oh my god, thank goodness we caught that on camera.
No one clipped that. Spectral in team chat, probably.
He just fell off. He's like, wait, grapples are... Oh, it's on 2-second cooldown. Well, I'm dead.
See, this is actually a bait. They're trying to get Shoes Money Crew to come forward into the line of sight of A-Fox. This is 5 million IQ, potentially. he's actually playing Overwatch 3 right now.
Spectral head in hand, wandering back to the rest of his team. Urki finds a nice pick to start us off with, though. The headshot to Hobbling.
Using the Sonic Arrow as well. Didn't even need it. A-Fox not going to get pulled away by that whole JK Lol. Having to use his Fortify now. Oh. Get away from the machinations of that cannon.
There's so much damage. Slur didn't stand a chance. Mouse is going to go down as well. As Emil did find that kill. Trying to find a little bit of comeuppance is Barbecue, but he will eventually fall as well.
It's also been great to see Urki pull out all these different heroes. He's played for Mei, he's played, of course, for Brigitte, he's played for Hanzo and the Thara, really showing off that we do have quite a few great flexible DPS hit players in EU, people like Track, people like Spectral, people like Urki. Mouse is also incredibly good.
I laugh and I think back quite often to what ZP said to me
just play
one day last year. Just play Junkrat. He's only good at tanks. Are you seeing this? We got a Bastion, we got a Solo Heal Mercy, we got it all, we got Widowmaker. What do you need? I can sell you anything, Harry.
Urki's out here saying witness me as well. A-Fox ready to bring out the tank form. We'll be using it now.
Not going to get too much damage. Oh, the Zen trapped in the backline, the snipe onto Slur. He didn't stand a chance. They're carrying around the mega health pack. Now is the time to strike onto A-Fox. He's going to get pinned against the wall, killed off by Mouse eventually. JK Lol has had enough of AT shenanigans.
JK Lol seems to be having a good idea of where to be right here, but he didn't expect the flanking Orisa. Whoever would. Urki going to pick off the remainder of Shoes Money Crew here, despite a very close fight. Doesn't look like Angry Titans are going to remain in control. And not only that, because of the usage of the Supercharger, it also helped Urki to build up towards that Dragon Strike rather quickly, because he was doing 50% extra damage. That means 50% extra ult charge, and you can see himself and Spectral are free to farm up now, because they can't really peek out on Shoes Money Crew. It looks like the Sonar Arrow is actually, or the Sonic Arrow rather, is embedded in JK Lol. Does give vision to the entire team. This is where the synergy between these two snipers really can come to the fore.
Man, Sonar Arrow would be completely useless, I feel. It's just off sound cues. It's terrible.
Yeah, man. Just makes all the sounds louder.
That's what I was thinking. It amplifies the footsteps,
I'm under attack. super loud.
Gustav is going to get taken out first. Barbecue launching in the self-destruct. Doesn't end up landing behind the shield, and now Spectre has such a good sightline on the back line.
Barbecue's going to have to challenge him out, potentially. That's exactly what's going to happen.
Oh, don't mess up the grapple this
Where's
time.
the grapple?
You're okay, he's got it. He found the shift key.
100%
just in time,
grapple accuracy,
and 100%
round
the wall
headshots.
as well. Oh my goodness, Slur didn't see that coming. His Omnic Brain splattered against the wall now. They are going to trade rather nicely. In fact, Fat managed to actually get AFOX back up in that fight as well. So trading fairly evenly, but someone needs to deal with Spectre right now. It's going to be the Lucio at the end, and Mouse and AFOX end up trading.
It's going to be a trade. Gustav and Spectre also going to trade out as well. The Venom Mine versus for Sound Blast.
What is happening right now?
But still, Angry Titans, one of the downfalls of this composition is that if you don't have Loltish and Emil up, you don't have a lot of cart pressure at all. So it meant that Shoes Money Crew, Barbecue and Gustav could just stick around there along with Mouse and continue to brawl out, rotating in and out of cover and saying, you don't want your Bastion to come down onto cart, do you? You just want him to stay up on high ground. But as the attackers, you need that objective to move. You don't just win fights to win the game. Emil, ready to open things up now with this self-destruct. Cannot wait for Spectral to get that that Graviton Surge. It's going to take a while. He just swapped over and currently sitting at 10%, but he's also distracting Shoes Money Crew right now.
Oh, that little flick from Emil. Little bit of style point, sends it over. Barbecue's going to punish him for not being in the mech, of course. The rest of AT are going to rotate very swiftly onto the payload. Mao's used that grab, sends them all into it. Slave using the Transcendence to secure the fight. They're going to need it. Look how close it is from being delivered. A little bit of sport, that hammer's just standing up, right? That confused me slightly then. I thought that was someone emoting on the payload.
Is for losers.
Clearly.
Shoes Money Crew actually had a perfect response to Angry Titan's Gambit. They thought that they could distract everyone with Emil and then make a 5-man rotation onto the cart, have Emil join them later by going through high ground. But of course, they just isolated Emil when he had 150 health, like, oh, I guess you die, and the cart's not going to move fast enough, so we can get a 5v6 on the cart as well. And now Shoes Money Crew also have that ultimate advantage with Barbecue ready to bring in his own self-destruct.
Not sure what that self-destruct actually was. Definitely didn't hit Angry Titans, that is for sure. JK Lol, come on, Lolsis, test me, mate. Test me. I've got the Shatter. You do not. I know this for a fact.
And not only that, they can force him out of this cover area, Jaws. Fat's already down. That's going to mean engagements and disengagements are not going to be in the favor of Angry Titans. With only a minute left, they might decide to actually go for another different attack now.
Yeah, they're changing positions, and the problem with switching positions right now as well is the fact that your spawns might get completely cut off, meaning that Fat might not be able to get back in time or run into the rest of Shoes Money Crew.
Yeah, they could potentially be intercepted by Barbecue, but of course he does have a... Oh my god, Spectral's on a big flank here. He could be caught out so nastily. Look, Barbecue
Shoes
and
Money
Mouse
Crew,
are
they
going
know
for
he's
him.
on the flank. They're just going to run straight towards AT. AFOX forced to use the Transcendence, so Spectral dies way off in the distance. Opling and Slot are going to go down. There was Urki and Emil who were able to leverage that healing coming through from the Trans in order to punish the backline.
That was a really good shield bash there from Urki. We saw Fat boot JK Lol up into the air. That meant there was a better chance to block the Shadow, but why not? Urki's just going to get into position, catch him with the shield slam, cancel that all-important Earth Shadow. And now Lolsish, look at the disparity here, how aggressive he's going to be able to be up against JK Lol. He doesn't have to worry about exposing his team to a Shadow when he drops his shield. He just knows that he can try and negotiate his way through that shield using potentially a speed boost from Fat to lay down so many members of Shoes Money Crew. But still, so much life here from SMC. They've drained Angry Titan's time bank down to the minimum level. 1 minute and 30 remains for the third point of Junkertown.
As a Shatter on to the backline, or
that was
trying to at least. That was a Shatter. It was trying to down to Mouse. You can see him posturing for it. Slur's going to use the Transcendence as the grab comes out. Self-destruct on top. Doesn't quite find anything. And Shoes Money Crew going back and win one of their own. Barbecue and JK Lol find a couple of kills. Slur finds the next. And AT, regardless of the healing coming out from Trans, are going to go down.
Super smart, perfectly placed Graviton search from Mouse there. Actually made sure that Lolsish could not swing into the Graviton to rebuild his own Earth Shadow. And not only that, because he was locked in place, couldn't get the charge through, and nor could we see Urki negotiate his way around JK Lol, so neither of them could remove the shield that was needed for Emil to get the maximum efficacy from that self-destruct. Mal's going to be backing off, trying to build up yet another Graviton Surge with the energy that he has, but cannot be caught out alone.
Oh, that Shadow after the
two
boot.
Down.
It does find two, yes, but it's going to get met with a beat rather instantly from Fat to make sure they survive it. Look at JK Lol, it's like a ping pong ball. Can't really find his feet at all. He was up in the air until he actually went down. Now AT needs to move it around this very, very tight bend. 18 seconds remain as well. Shoes Money Crew are going to be able to get another engagement, and all they need to do is just push Angry Titans off of the payload.
Good counter-attack there, utilizing the sound barrier and the rally from Urki and Fat respectively. And of course, Angry Titans now will have that armor for a little while. Will begin to dissipate after 30 seconds. Lolsish going to be trying to outmaneuver JK Lol again. Potentially he's going to be going for that solo shatter onto Mouse, who's going to be one of the primary damage dealers. You can see him on the left there, may decide to go for it.
Grav comes in. There is the pin as well.
That's a long
removing
pin.
JK Lol from the fight. Slur using that Transcendence to get to him. The beat came out as well. Double layer of support ults. JK Lol's going to go down, and that is exactly what happens. We know you've got nothing left in your tank. Opening is going to use the rally at the last final moments. Need to be able to clutch at the end of this fight. Lolsish is taking a load of punishment, but he's got a Transcendence at his back now to supplement his health bar.
He's holding firm. He is the wall in front of the shoes. No.
Whoa,
C9.
Oh, no. They thought they won the fight, but at the back line, there you go, Barbecue actually pushing people off of the payload.
I think that might be one of our first documented cases of a T9.
A T9?
Yeah. Well, for Titans, obviously.
Oh.
Did you really not understand that?
No, I thought, because an AT9, sure, like an A9.
Well, the thing is, T rhymes with C.
Oh, yeah.
And like, A9 is just a smurf of A10, so naturally
true,
just
yeah.
a top 10 account.
Naturally. Yeah. A10, I think he had 3 accounts in top 10 at one point, I'm pretty sure.
He had like A10, B10, and C10, right?
Yeah. Yeah. He's a pretty good player. Someone should pick him up.
Yeah.
80.
Make a mean Zaya.
Yeah, and he does. On the defense, Shoes Money Crew on the offense. That unfortunate T9 is going to cost them, or might do, just a little bit later on. They can't get the full completion, so we will get the map end here on the attack for Shoes Money Crew.
Yeah, we will see one victory or another at the end of this round. No extra innings can be gained here with that distance gained by the cart. It's a wonderful little drilling tool right there. Angry Titans on their defense. Flashbacks.
This is a comp.
To February 2018, Overwatch League. The colors are black and green. The hero is Junkrat. The tire is at 4 AM.
It's the mortal enemy of Shoes Money Crew. It might just be. Okay, on the junk, I'm excited. We also see Emil, of course, on the Roadhog. The OTP himself.
The OTP, that would be Urki. Emil going to be picking up that. Maybe he's got a few tips from Urki as to how to play that particular hero. Yeah, you just see the E, you see the hog,
yes.
the 4-letter name, and you're like, it's for Big Hog. It's for Big Pig himself.
The big lad. Spectre's going to be on the Widow, though.
Got to watch out for that cliff edge, though. Got him last time.
Yeah. He knows. Look how far he's taken away from me.
No chances taken.
I'm not dicing with death. There's no way.
JK Lol, some good evasion there, making his head a little bit harder to track. It is a big head on Orisa, easy to shoot. Lolsish falling incredibly low. Looks like he may have also suffered one of those headshots.
Wow, Afox is caught out in the back line completely. Barbecue's going to take him out. Didn't even land at all. That is incredibly unfortunate. Slur's going to go on the flank also, and Spectral gets hacked. Nothing really heals you through that. 2 dives going straight on. 1 support and 1 DPS. Nice bombs actually through the shield. Oh, well, it wasn't through the shield. It was Slur poking his head out. And Shoes Money Crew.
A bit of a peek. What's going on over here, guys?
Going to get this payload moving.
And of course, Angry Titans right now can't contest. And what actually happened there is I pointed out that Lolsish got a headshot. And at that point, Fat decided that he was going to just have to give so much healing over to the main tank to try and keep him in a sustainable sort of atmosphere. And that's when Afox got rounded upon. Afox is going to swap over now, no longer wants to play on the Zenyatta. Instead going to be playing on the Ana, where he'll be far less vulnerable to the EMP of Barbecue, which they will assume he almost has.
Oh, that was a good sleep. Oh, he just gets healed. Not quite enough, though. The Mercy Beam not doing nearly enough healing as the damage was outputted by AT. He was going to find a couple of kills on the D.Va, of course. I think we have to hold this payload right before the doors. This is a pretty punishing position as well. Those dragons coming from spawn, from Obling, however, not really doing a whole lot. I can imagine he's just going to switch up after this, hoping to find an initial pick. Yeah,
there's probably going to be a full swap here from Shoes Money Crew. I can't imagine Slur's going to stay on the Tracer right here with JK Lol swapping over to the Reinhardt.
Needs some additional healing. Okay, so they're just going with the 3-2-1 with the Sombra with the EMP.
And crucially, Angry Titans does not wait for the door to close behind Shoes Money Crew, so they are going to be able to make that rather easy entrance right here. They're not going to have to go through any small chokes that you can usually exploit from the high ground, so it's going to be the wraparound from Afox trying to find a way to negotiate around JK Lol.
That was a good nade. Straight on top of the Reinhardt, but it gets cleansed instantly. You could see the Zaya using that bubble, but it wasn't quite so lucky for Obling. EMP is going to come through. 5 members are hacked. Afox instantly goes down. Spectral shields get removed, and he falls also. Lolsish Doesn't want to use Primal Rage. Perhaps he still wants to stick on that hero. Nice EMP from Barbecue. We'll see if he wants to stay on it here. You can get a nice position from the Sombra, hack a lot of these health packs. Doesn't look like he wants to change, however, jumping over to the Diva.
Lolsish will also move over on to the Reinhardt. Will be potentially given that nano boost. He can do a huge amount of damage and will have Fat as that speed boost. But of course, Shoes Money Crew can easily disengage from that. So he may decide to go for maybe a nano onto Spectral, help him generate that Graviton Surge instead. Depends on where this grenade sort of lands.
Yeah, you got to wait for that nade to come out. Did you Sleep Dart already? It's fairly hard to land Sleep Dart, of course. That nano boost is going to go off. I'm not sure it's going to be on Lolsish, though. Not sure who got that boost. I think it may have been Spectral, okay. It looked like he aimed it at the Reinhardt, but didn't manage to catch the Zarya.
Good off Tank's body block, Jaws. Good off Tank's body block.
That's very true. Plus, he's got 86% grab now. He's like, haha, I tanked it, plus I got grab almost. So
didn't have a huge amount of energy, though. Not the maximum efficacy that you could look for from that. And now there is going to be an advantage for Shoes Money Crew and how much damage they can do to Lolsish, which is why you see Lolsish now holding up on the high ground. He wants to ensure that Shoes Money Crew have to invest a resource to get to him, be it a movement cooldown or time.
Nice bio grenade once again. Met with a beat though, so they can't really ingress on this. Shadow is going to find Spectral, the key target for JKLol right now. Instantly gets Graviton Surge against the wall. Transcendence is going to stop the healing, but that self-destruct gets blocked up by both shields. But another fantastic bio grenade by AFOX. They C9 again. Unfortunately, this time on the defense as Shoes Money Crew cap the point.
T9 all over the place right now. I'm not sure if that was technically one, but still not touching the cart when you have 6 members alive is a bit of a Spitfire, if you saw their match against Shanghai Dragons. Spoiler alert.
They C9'd.
It was pretty nasty.
Yeah.
Absolutely brutal, actually. Lolsish now going to be trying to leverage his ultimate advantage with the Earth Shadow here to halt Shoes Money Crew on their advance.
Look at that, 3 minutes and 30 seconds as well to work with. AT want to play as far up as they possibly can as Lolsish wants to get as many people in that cone of effectiveness with his Shadow.
You've got to make sure that you're not getting tilted at the moment. Those objective plays can very much break your mental jaws, and we're going to see Lolsish try and break Shu under his boots.
There you go. There's the nano boost instantly.
Good disengage.
Shu going to back off rather swiftly. Yeah, Lolsish is just like, nah, I'm good. I don't want to fight that. I don't want to get solo grab. Thank you very much.
We don't want to deal with this.
Speaking of grabs, there's 2 people. Slur's going to match with the Transcendence. A pin from Lolsish finds Obling, and Emil managed to eat something.
The Graviton Surge.
Yeah.
A little bit of a quirk of the UI. Didn't eat the Lucio. That would be pretty nifty if he like counters a projectile while he wall road. Like, I'm under attack.
It disappears into nothing. It's like, where'd he go?
Where'd he go?
If he was beating, if he countered a projectile when he was beating, just like, look, swallows him straight up. That'd be horrible.
It'd be rather interesting.
But he did eat grab. Okay, we got that covered.
Emil looking for potentially that vanilla self-destruct wants to do a little bit more damage, and Lolsish is still hanging on to this.
Back going to make people straight up in the air. Shadow goes in the back line. Self-destruct for the defense, but it's too little, it's too late. Slur, Obling are going to go down. Miles narrowly avoids the pin, but will still end up falling. 2 minutes and 20 seconds. They've burnt a minute of time, and the cart really hasn't moved that far.
But crucially, Angry Titans gave the space to allow Shoes Money Crew to move the cart through that primary doorway, so the door closed behind them. That means they're forced to go through these chokes, but you can currently see Spectral spamming on down because he wants to get that additional ultimate charge. He can now combine with Emil for the classic combination, but if they grab on the high ground, it's going to be very hard to get a charge through on the side of Lolsish. No defense matrix now.
There's the grab. It's going to get used. That self-destruct as well. Straight on top. The fire grenade landed on top of them. And that shield was perfect. Not quite enough to save Obling, however. And JKLol ends up going down anyway. Man, it landed straight on top. I thought for sure. And I thought Obling as well thought it actually saved him. Fortunately, the blast radius way too big for the small Brigitte shield.
It was an interesting boop. Fad just booped JKLol straight up, but because the Demon Mech is collidable, it actually just stopped on top of JKLol's head, and then JKLol started descending, had that shield up, and managed to create a nifty little umbrella for all of that shrapnel.
Still managed to catch one, unfortunately. Bio grenade goes a little bit wide from AFOX this time. They do end up switching sides almost. Mao's now with the high ground advantage. Does have that Graviton Surge to use.
Does mean, however, Angry Titans will have the advantage of having a mega health pack where you currently see Urki hanging out. AFOX has the high ground as well. Going to be difficult to challenge out. There's the slam.
That slam on both backlines. They're going to trade 2 for 1 as AFOX and Spectral end up going down. And now Angry Titans carrying this little corner. They know if they contest for long enough, they're going to be able to burn a whole lot of time bank. Shoes Money Crew are going to kill the rest of AT, but 50 seconds now remains and stands in their way of the match victory.
Not a huge amount of tools here for Shoes Money Crew as well. Jaws not a big advantage. You do have for Rally, but Urki can answer that in kind. Just Rally versus Rally kind of cancels out. You just have two people trying to go incredibly aggressive. A-Fox has the potential for playmaking here. He does have a nano boost. You could maybe put that onto Spectral after the Graviton Surge. Just put it onto Lulsis, just swing into the Graviton with a nano Reinhardt. He'll so quickly get that Earth Shadow ready to go.
They use the rally. So does Shoes Money Crew, of course. That's the only ult they've really got to work with here. Nano Boost has been used on the Reinhardt. Lulsis charging forward, can't find the pin, but the grab is going to sink them straight into the Lulsis. This is perfect.
Shadow's
a flame
ready.
strike from above. Singes JK Low on the way out. A self-destruct from Barbecue to stop him from going down. The Graviton Surge can't quite be combined. And Spectral, all the meanwhile, was farming from the high ground. OT is in session. A Transcendence to try and savor the rest of the team fight, but a Shoes Money Crew are just going to get torn apart by Spectral and Lulsis. OT ticks through, and AT find 4-0 in the series.
Despite some previous, maybe missteps away from the payload, Angry Titans are going to stick firm on it at the end of Junkertown right there. They'll stick quite a few members of Shoes Money Crew to it as well with the Graviton Surges. Spectral doing great to able to leverage that high ground. Words are hard. Being able to leverage that high ground is something that I talk a lot about when it comes to Xayahs. Being able to get those angles around shields, potentially, is really good. An interesting little tidbit as well is that, of course, we talked about how Lulsis generated the Earth Shadow super quickly from swinging into the Graviton Surge with a nano, doing 50% extra damage. He didn't actually manage to shatter anyone. He, like, shattered at 5 people who didn't have any kind of shield apart from maybe Xayah barriers or a Brigida shield, but couldn't actually shatter anyone. I think he actually tried to shatter Barbecue as he was remeching, but it was too late into the animation, so Barbecue was practically immune.
Good showing from Shoes Money Crew all around, I think. I think can be pretty impressed and pleased with themselves. Even though it was a 4-0, they looked a lot more confident coming into this week. After the first map, it's like, okay, as long as your mental doesn't go boom, like, you can come back in this series. And a couple of maps did definitely look close. That Junkertown one especially was so close in going in their favor. Even went all the way on map number 2 as well on King's Row. Now, they can go away with this, knowing that there's going to be a bit more of an upwards hill battle.
My favorite highlight.
Oh, yeah, that's going to get clipped to high heaven. Enjoy seeing that one on Twitter, Spectral.
Only God and gravity can judge him now.
But it's now go time for Shoes Money Crew. They're in the panic zone, really. They don't want to go into that relegation zone. They had such a good run through trials. They need to just stick in this for a little bit longer in order to make playoffs.
Yeah, they've already had one of what many would say would be their easier matches up against Young and Beautiful, which they did successfully 4-0, but now then where they're mainly going to be looking for those map pickups to get into playoffs are probably going to be matches against Eternal Academy and 1 Point. Those are going to be where you can probably pick up likely wins on the side of Shoes Money Crew. But still, when we talk about breaking mental draws, it was impressive to see that Angry Titans could keep it together after 2 potentially incredibly tilting objective plays.
Yeah, it's something that we talked about a lot last season, that match against Shoes Money Crew in Season 3, where they ended up going 3-1, and it was in favor of Shoes Money Crew that time around because they didn't really find their footing at all in the match. It wasn't the AT we're used to seeing. And in fact, I think we ended up casting that series too. It was very much the scoreboards are flipped while the titles were
we
flipped.
casted that one because that was where Tridd and Derry sort of fell behind in predictions because predicted Angry Titans like you'd think.
Yeah, prediction's no longer a thing, unfortunately.
Yeah.
That was bad.
Actually, I quite like that because I don't think it's easy to predict anything in such a more tightly compact group with such more concentration.
Definitely, not now.
Talent.
Yeah, there's so much. Only 8 teams, of course, now was 12 back in 2018, but their mental did kind of get shook. As soon as they lost that first map, it was very shaky to begin with, and then they kind of got it back towards the end of it. They managed to smash Dorado, but that was really it. But you can again see the effect that the Team House is having on them. Last week against 1 Point, 3-2 in the series. This time around, way more definitive.
Yeah, we'll have to see if maybe towards the end of the season it continues to get even better because, of course, once you get to the Team House, that'll be a major initial bump in synergy. Then you can keep rising from there as you get to know each other. Remember that both Fat and Emil are new to this team, so it'll take a while to get like personable and amicable with all of these different players who they have been playing with for a while now in terms of like scrimming. But it's going to be nice to meet them in real life and just build up those personal relationships.
Well, We'll have to wait and see what the next match is going to turn out to be. Of course, it is 1 point, and they did manage to almost take the game off of Angry Titans. But we're going to jump to a quick break now, guys. We'll see you in a bit.